Hey everybody, Jason Spangler here, the Santee Swapper. I've got in a collection that's got, I think it's 35 pounds of scouting memorabilia, and I wanted to film an unboxing video, and I decided to do it where instead of the camera being pointed at me, the camera is pointed right here at the memorabilia so you can see what I got. So I'm going to start cutting this collection open. It came in 3 boxes, and what's kind of exciting about this is I have absolutely no idea what's in here. This collection came to me through a contact on my website, and the gentleman basically said that, you know, I've been carrying my dad's stuff around, stuff from when I was in Scouts, moved around the country a bunch of times, and I'm tired of moving this stuff around. Would you be interested in it? And so he agreed to send it to me, and then I think we're going to get back together and see if we can come up with a deal. So I thought I would just go ahead and unbox it here because I have no idea what's in here. So it's kind of cool to see. So let's just take a gander. This looks like I'm opening from the bottom here so you can kind of see this is good old archival pages back in the day. These are, unfortunately, my worry is these are glued down. Oh, okay, no, it's like 2-sided tape. Whew, sometimes you get these pages right here with this type of black paper and they're glued down, but whew, thankfully these look like they're not. They're just some double-sided tape. It doesn't look like too much damage there. So this is from New York. Some cool stuff here from 10 Mile River Scout Reservation, Viking Council. That's a pretty cool jacket patch. I like that. Old camp things here. The good old red and white community strips. Got a Philmont patch, an old red and white. Just had one of those up on Facebook the other day trying to find a new home for it. And then here's some lodge flaps. So these are pretty old. These look to be like from the 70s probably, pre-fleur-de-lis. Some more from that time period, all from kind of that New York area. That's a Lodge 4 from New York. There's a 1969 NOAC patch. It's always hard to tell if those are authentic or not. They did a reproduction set, and the reproduction ones were so good it's often hard to tell them apart. But as I was saying, these are attached with double-sided tape, but it seems like they've been in there so long there's absolutely no stickiness left to that. So if I go in here and peel that off, yeah, just the faintest little bit of tackiness right there underneath that tape. So that's not too bad. Doesn't look like it's left a mark. Sometimes you have a really tough time if people glue things into these books, but this one doesn't look too bad. 67 World Jamboree, 57 Jamboree. That's kind of stuff you see a lot of. A couple of random patches there. Now this is kind of cool. This tells me it's a little bit more of a collection because I had one of these up the other day on Facebook, and people were talking about the different issues from the 1960 anniversary, which was the 50th of the Boy Scouts. These are 2 patches that are kind of special issues. This is the Philmont Scout Ranch patch for that year, and that's the Shift Scout Reservation, which was the national training camp up in New Jersey. I had a Camporee patch from North Carolina. That's one of the only other ones that has this design on it. So that's pretty cool. And then, of course, there's the jacket patch that goes with that. So that's pretty cool stuff right there. Then it looks like we've got sort of a more modern bit of pages here. Oh, this is a pretty good collection. I really had no idea what the guy had. He just sort of told me that he'd had this stuff traveling around. And it looks like he probably went to a NOAC. These are from 2002 NOAC. I can turn them here towards the camera a little bit, let you see that. So, of course, you're going to have, if you've been to the NOAC, you're going to have some 2-piece sets. Those are from the 2004 NOAC. And then this is Lodge 64. So, Lodge 464, there's a bunch of them here in this collection. And, of course, Lodge 464 is from out west. So, I'm guessing maybe that's where this fella was doing his scouting. There's a nice little Wichita leather flap. Those are kind of different. Yep, definitely some cool stuff. Here's 4 flaps from my part of the world in South Carolina, Skyuka Lodge there. Again, looks like someone was doing some trading at a NOAC maybe. Had their pages. Sorry, these are upside down. Probably shouldn't turn them that way. Some more stuff for you to look at. So a nice grouping of Order the Arrow flaps, which would make a lot of sense if this guy was active. Trading patches. So when he sent these to me, a lot of times when people will send me stuff, they will send me messages and pictures and that kind of thing. But this gentleman sent it to me kind of sight unseen. I guess he and I will have some conversations now to kind of figure out what we can do on this stuff. Obviously, a collection like this with a lot of variety, it's going to be something I'm definitely interested in. Some other pages here. What else we got? A 1969 Jamboree hat. That's pretty cool. Some more OA pieces here. A big old Western Region NOAC jacket patch. Cola Lodge 464, definitely where this guy was from. This is kind of the one more famous one. So the old Hammerstone Scout Museum did Founders Day exhibits at several NOACs representing Lodge 104, and that's why you see these numbers on here. Of course, this is Wayne Farrar, and this is one of the earliest ones, 98 NOAC, did sort of this corn theme at Iowa, so that's kind of cool. Little Philmont chenille type patch, that's pretty cool. More cola. So I think what we're seeing is that this guy's dad was from New York, and then he did his scouting out in Colorado, is my guess. That is definitely what it looks like from just first shot glance looking at this. Big old jacket patch there from that section, which is pretty cool. Alright, got some neckerchiefs down in here. Put some tape to it. Again, that same lodge, it looks to be like some contingent stuff they had. Now, every once in a while, something like this, you get something really cool like that. That is a plaster slide, but it's really beautifully done. That's really nice. I like that a lot. That's pretty cool. Here's something you don't see every day. This is a Trail Crew patch, a Philmont OA Trail Crew patch. And so the Trail Crew would have been one of those earlier programs, maybe, I don't know if it was 10, 15, 20 years ago, where they started having the OA come out and do 1 week service projects at Philmont. I've got a book on Philmont that Chip Elliott and Mike McAdams did, and I can look that guy up and kind of get some history on it. Got to have a Neil slide in there. Some other little stuff. That doesn't even look to be like a Boy Scout one. Philmont slide. So if you're going to live out west, I'm sure you probably would get a chance to go to Philmont. All right, here's a great Eagle medal in its coffin case. I'd probably have to look this one up and see. It's got a flat back on it. I'll have to get a magnifying glass out to read that custom make to see, but it's not hard to identify Eagle medals. There's little differences in them, and there's like reference books, and there's also a website you can use. So this merit badge sash is pretty impressive, actually, just because of how many merit badges were earned. I'm guessing that this was probably during the 90s. A lot of merit badges here. One way you can date merit badges is you can actually look and see the designs that came out. So like that's truck transportation. Sometimes there's something like there might be a computer's merit badge or something like that where the design of the merit badge has changed. Or I can tell by the edge of that patch right there, which is photography merit badge, that is a different style of embroidery than some of these other ones. I'll have to look it up in my book, and I know you won't be able to see it in the video very well, but that's actually very different than these other ones. So that might be that California embroidery. There's sort of like a weird variety that came out sometime in the 90s, and that may be what that guy is, because he definitely doesn't match the rest of these. But a lot of nice merit badges there. That's a pretty full sash. A couple of great Garrison caps here. That's the old Explorers one with the caw, compass, anchor, wings design. That was used after 1958, so basically like the late 50s all through the 60s, that was the design until they went to that big Explorer E design. Then here's a legend strip. Of course, legend strips have been around for a long time. Never official, Boy Scouts never made a legend strip, but whoever made it, they should have copyrighted this design because it's been redone so many times by lots of people. A couple of other nice little patches in here. People really like those 50th anniversary sash award patches that you had to earn. Some Jamboree leathers. This is kind of the irony about Jamboree stuff, is that even though this is really old, it's probably 50 years old, these Jamboree patches are not that valuable just because they made so many of them back in the day. Even a nice 67 World Jamboree jacket patch, not that valuable because they made so many of them. There's just a few odds and ends left here on the bottom, nothing too exciting. That's kind of cool, a nice historic trail. It sort of looks like a jacket patch, but almost, or maybe like a pie to go on a neckerchief. That's pretty cool from New York. So that's some cool stuff. The neat thing about this collection is it's 3 boxes. So that's just box number 1. Got some more stuff to go. I'm pretty impressed by box number 1. So I don't know if all the other boxes will be as impressive, but if so, this is going to be a really good collection. So put all this back in here. Dun dun dun. All right, set it off to the side there. Get back in there, neckerchief slide. All right, we'll go for box number 2 here. Come across here, a little cut. I gotta use my Western knife to do the cutting, you know. All right, we'll do a little flop here. Okay, see what we got. So 1969, this is either a pillowcase or a woman's scarf. I can never keep it straight which one it is, but that's kind of cool to have 2 of them there. That's kind of different. I see a bunch of neckerchiefs in this pile, so going to have your Philmont. I always see lots of Jamboree neckerchiefs. Doesn't surprise me. Both of these are 1969 neckerchiefs. This yellow one is more the participant. This red one was the souvenir one. It's kind of a red design. You've probably seen this before, that has all the different logos on it in the back. So these are, you find these in the envelope a lot because that's how people bought them, and they just never took them out. It's a troop neckerchief, Levittown, Illinois. Again, here's 1969 NOAC. So we saw the patch earlier, so maybe the guy went to the NOAC, or maybe his dad did. Again, more evidence of New York here. Good old Cub Scouts. Sadly, they're changing the color this year to red for wolves, so that won't necessarily work anymore. Delmont, that's sort of a classic you'll see a lot. That's a real cool, I guess this would have been an area conference, and obviously another New York item here, Manhattan. No surprise there, that's from New York. More Jamboree neckerchiefs, World Jamboree, more Jamboree, more Jamboree, lots of Jamboree. Okay. If I figured it out, that's a staff neckerchief, and that might be from 10 Mile River camps. I'm just guessing based on where some of this other stuff was. So that might be an interesting neckerchief since it's a staff neckerchief. There might be some people that chase those down. Greater New York Councils, they had these as kind of contingent neckerchiefs they would wear. Little scout neckerchief, pie that we've seen before earlier. And then here's a troop. I'm going to Philmont, 1969. And this one obviously was worn, so you can tell this was one that someone actually took and wore out there. Maybe that's, again, a little bit of a clue for us. More 1969. Little stack of sashes. One of those is the Vigil sash, so somebody was pretty involved in the Order of the Arrow. This definitely tells us somebody went to the NOAC in 96, because it actually says 1996 National Conference. Whoever decided to make up those legend strips actually took the time to individualize them like that. 98 NOAC hat. Okay, cool stuff. Some slides. Wonderful World of Scouting, bolo tie, Eagle Scout, coins. Got to have a Pedro slide there. Again, Cola Lodge, a bolo neckerchief there. Not neckerchief, but now that's kind of cool. Check that out. Lodge 282 H1 knee mat. This is some sort of an acrylic. I guess it would have been a neckerchief slide, is my guess. That's in a flap-shaped acrylic slide. That's really unusual. That's really pretty cool. I don't recognize seeing that or anything like it before. Sadly, this one's had the piece come up. That's a little belt buckle for 10 Mile River Scout camps in New York. Some other coins, another neckerchief slide, more coins, tie tack. All right, that's that. Try not to linger too long here. Okay, let's see. Last box. Again, no idea what's here. The first 2 boxes have been really nice, some really diverse stuff, different time periods, stuff I collect, stuff I don't collect. Let's decide which way to cut into this. So I have not so far worked out a deal with the gentleman. So if you see something in these videos that you would like to get, you can definitely send me a private message or something, and if I work things out with this gentleman to buy the collection, then that might be a possibility. But that's kind of the fun of doing this unboxing video, so you can kind of see the surprise that I get opening these things up. Now that's so unusual. This is sort of a different. No, I'm just going to have to cut the. Good thing I have a sharp scout knife here. I can just cut the cardboard rather than fight it. All right. Another NOAC thing. That's interesting. These are the little things when you went to the NOAC. when you were a delegate, this is what you got all of your conference paperwork in. And so that's from the 2000 NOAC. I was at this NOAC in 96. I got one of those myself. And then here's the 98 NOAC. So again, looks like this guy was definitely involved. Now this should be an Eagle Scout presentation kit, because the one that I got as a scout in 1989 looked just like this. So let's pop it open and see if I'm correct. And I am correct. I've got it upside down. But that looks very similar to the one that I got. And so here I'm going to make a guess. I'm going to make a guess that the sash that we saw earlier goes with this Eagle medal, because you can see that this scout has 3 different palms. So I think it's like 15, 10, and 5, or some combination of that. So this scout had a lot of extra merit badges above and beyond what you would need just for Eagle. So that's a nice little catch there. And then all of these pages, what is this guy here? Greater New York Council's 1969 Scout-O-Ree. Sometimes you'll come across things like this where the guy or his dad might have been in charge of the event and kind of ended up with all the leftovers at the end. So there's a whole stack of those guys there. And then we've got a bunch of pages of stuff that was traded for at the NOAC. And then some more patches down here. Another OA Trail Crew Arrowhead. That's pretty cool. That you got 2 of them. That's kind of cool. All right, some Manhattan. So maybe this was what Dad was trading back in the day. If I reach down in here and pull it out, there's some OA flaps. So this exact same OA flap, there's multiples of that. And this is from the lodge in New York. Now I don't know enough about this lodge to know what the issue number was, but this is, there's several of them here. And these are all pre-fleur-de-lis, so these are probably, from that maybe late 60s, early 70s time period that would go along with the Jamboree patches that we saw. So this may be what Dad was trading when he was going to those events, and a couple of pies again from that area. So what I haven't seen so far is too many signs of older patches that were traded for. Like if Dad was trading back in the day, it looks like Son was trading at these NOACs and came across a lot of stuff. But I don't see too much older stuff that maybe Dad was trading for, at least not OA flaps and that kind of thing. So anyways, we'll just kind of scroll through these. There's a classic spoof set. Saw someone posted on Facebook just the other day with some spoof sets. So this one's T-Rex Lodge, merged, 65 million years of BC. So that's a pretty good one. Oh, there's some patches there. Tahosa. Again, Cola Lodge. Going to see some cool stuff from that lodge there. Wapashui. So this guy had a nice little collection going. This lodge is a lodge out west that had some really beautiful patches, Lodge 300. Some more 2-piece sets there. Some Cola Fellowship items. Definitely somebody went to the 98 NOAC. Again, if I needed any more evidence of that. NOAC patches. Some council strips. Got to have that. Whoop, 2-piece set falling out. Get back in there. Some more stuff there. That rainbow patch, which sort of looks like the album cover, right, for Pink Floyd. Can't remember which lodge that is. I don't think it's a spoof patch, but we'll see. Might be. More stuff there. 69 Jamboree patch. More 2-piece sets. Sorry, I'm not trying to have these upside down. It's just how it's working out here. Some 2-piece sets. 2-piece. So 2-piece sets are definitely kind of the currency of NOAC. And that's what you're going to find at NOAC. Lots and lots of 2-piece sets. So this all back from the 90s. This was when that was all really taking off. And so every lodge, and there used to be a lot more lodges, had that. Now again, I'm going to have to do my homework and figure out if these are from an official lodge. And I'm thinking maybe they are, because it wouldn't make much sense to have these different designs, but I'm going to have to do some homework. If anybody knows, if you want to comment on the video, if you have any knowledge of where these flaps are from, I'd like to know, just because they don't have a lodge name on it, so it's throwing me off a little bit. I am seeing some Roman numerals here, but I can't quite make out what that means, so it's got me stumped, man. Alright, some more flaps. More flaps, 2 pieces. The Great White Shark Lodge, another OA spoof set from back in the day when spoofs were pretty popular. This is the silver mylar version of that. I think I know who did that one. It's kind of cool to have the insider's knowledge, you know, who was in on these things. More sets, more sets, more sets. There we go. Get him out of there. All right. So that is it. So this is about 35 pounds of scouting memorabilia. I really had no idea what was in here. I knew that he said that some of the stuff belonged to his dad, which I can see there's some old stuff here, including what looks to be an authentic 1958 NOAC patch, although it's missing the loop. But it looks like the son was more of the patch trader, maybe more than the dad was, just based on the age of things. But that's fine. It's all good. So this is kind of what happens. I get the stuff in, I sort of evaluate it, see how much we have. I'll probably take this stuff out, organize it, count it, where I can really have an idea of what's there, and then give the gentleman a fair offer. Then hopefully we'll strike up a deal, and all this stuff will be mine, and then I'll start swapping, trading, recycling it back into the hobby and back into scouting, getting into the hands of collectors. That's what I love to do. So this is Jason Spangler, the Santee Swapper. Thank you for watching my video. Again, if you see something here you're interested in, send me a message. You can find me on my website, scoutpatchcollectors.com. I'm also over on Facebook, especially spending a lot of time in the Scout Patch Collectors Facebook group. Thanks very much for watching the video.